I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. I mean, she made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Dropping his Mahomes. Fires middle of the field. Ball's intercepted. The ball is picked off. Are you kidding me? Devin Lloyd bringing it back again. Along the left sideline. 50, 45, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. 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 Devin Lloyd with the length of the field. Yet another interception. Jacksonville is taking the lead. How good is that?
Frank Franchi on the call. Jaguars radio. What an evening it was last night at Everbank Stadium. The Jacksonville Jaguars, 4-1 on the year, back-to-back wins over the Houston Texans, the San Francisco 49ers, and now the Kansas City Chiefs. The first time they have beat Kansas City in 16 years. The first time Trevor Lawrence has defeated Patrick Mahomes. And I think Jacksonville, at least for one night, certainly put the nation on notice that they are a team to look at moving forward in the 2025 season. And with that, a very good Tuesday evening to you, Jacksonville. Feels like I haven't been here in a while, right? We had Friday Night Lights last week. We had the Jaguar game last night. So the first Hacker After Dark going back to last Thursday. Glad to be with you. Obviously, the new digs, if you're checking us out on the stream. Brand new location for 1010XL. Got to get my whereabouts about me, Denmark. You know, for the last 3.5 years, you and I have been in the same room, had fellowship together. Not that you're that far away, a little glass window separating us now, but it's going to take a little bit to get used to, but certainly glad to be with you and glad to be talking about a 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguar football team. And that is where we're going to spend a majority of tonight's program. We'll do a little Jaguar X's and O's with the coach, Mark Duffner. 50 years of coaching experience for Coach Duffner. He's going to join us coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour as we will take a look back on what was a huge win for Jacksonville. Likewise, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 will join me about 9 o'clock or so this evening. We will not only look at last night, we'll look at big picture, 4-1 for Jacksonville, but that NFL clock never stops moving as the Seattle Seahawks, a good 3-2 Seattle Seahawks football team, comes in on Sunday. We'll actually be back down to the Miller Electric Center tomorrow. The Jaguars will be getting preparations for Seattle. I'll be in the locker room tomorrow. Hopefully bring you some one-on-one conversations tomorrow night and Thursday night on Hacker After Dark. And we will talk a little bit about the Florida Gators. I know it's been 3 days, but what a victory for Florida on Saturday against Texas. Billy Napier, the guy has more lives than Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger combined. Just when you think he's gone, he does something like that. Look at Ole Miss last year, look at LSU last year, and obviously look at Texas on Saturday. Was that a blip on the radar, or did Florida find something? Obviously with Dallas Wilson, Vernell Brown, those two terrific freshman wide receivers, they have another top 10 opponent this week as they head to College Station to take on the Texas A&M Aggies. So we got a ton to do. We're with you till 10 o'clock. Again, glad you're with us on a Tuesday, a Victory Tuesday here in Northeast Florida. Every night on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
So my motto, if you guys listen to me during the summer months, June, July, and into training camp, into August, is hope springs eternal for all 32 NFL teams. Hope is what you have in the offseason. Everybody has hope. The New York Jets fan base had hope. The Tennessee Titans fan base had hope. New Orleans Saints fan base had hope. Everybody has hope in June, July, and August. September and early October are when reality sets in. And the reality for a lot of teams that had hope during the summer is that your team just simply isn't very good. Your hope has been crushed and destroyed very early in this 2025 NFL regular season. But for teams like Jacksonville, your reality as a Jaguar fan is your team's good. Your team is officially good. There is no fluke anymore. There is no, I don't know about Jacksonville. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. I don't think they're very good. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. The defense will eventually stop getting turnovers. The running game will slow down. You know, you hear all the negativity, right? We're 5 weeks in. We're 5 weeks in. We're past the quarter pole of the NFL season. You kind of are who you are 5 weeks in. And 5 weeks in, the Jacksonville Jaguars, dare I say, are one of the best teams in the National Football League. Again, you look at their resume. You look at their last 3 wins. And heck, Carolina's not awful. Carolina's 2-3. But take them out for a second. Houston. Everybody loved Houston coming into the year. Everybody picked Houston to win the AFC South. Jacksonville beats them. San Francisco on the road with Ricky Pearsall, with Jawan Jennings, with Brock Purdy. Jacksonville goes out there, beats up on the Niners. And then last night, Kansas City found themselves, right? They started 0-2, but yeah, they beat New York and they beat Baltimore to death. They'll come to Jacksonville and they'll take care of business. No, they did not. Jacksonville has been clearly the more physical team the last 3 weeks. Jacksonville is turning their opponents over to the tune of 8 turnovers combined that this defense has forced in the last 3 ball games. And the Jacksonville Jaguars find themselves 4-1 on the year. And to me, top 10 in the NFL, absolutely. I think you can have the argument that their resume would tell you they should be in the top 5 of this week's current NFL power rankings. What has Liam Cohen asked about his football team? What have we asked about this football team? How will they respond to adversity? Because Jaguar Nation, you know as well as I do, in years past, for many, many years, when adversity hit this team, what would happen? It would get worse and worse and worse. It would be a quicksand effect. The harder you try to get out of bad plays, bad coaching, bad schemes, bad free agent signings, bad draft picks, the deeper you sank. You just couldn't get out of it. And when adversity struck, you were done. You weren't going to recover. This year, Jacksonville strips the ball out of Nico Collins' hands. Otherwise, Houston probably wins that game. The San Francisco 49ers are driving for the go-ahead touchdown at midfield. 2.5 minutes to go. The defense makes a play. And last night, the referees give you the business on a horrible non-pass interference call. Trevor throws a pick. Kansas City scores the tying touchdown. Trevor fumbles the ball at the 1-yard line. Patrick Mahomes does his thing, drives the Chiefs down to take the lead with 1:45 to go. And none of that stuff has mattered at all. Jacksonville has responded to every bit of it. They have passed the test about how they respond to adversity. Our question this week now needs to shift to, how will this team handle success? How will this team handle being considered one of the NFL's best? How will this team handle more media coverage, more questions, more talk, more pats on the back? Did you see today, ESPN, NFL Network, you name it, Jacksonville was all over the place. Liam Cohen was making the rounds today. We know how they handle adversity. 2 gigantic thumbs up. They have proven that. Handling adversity and then handling success are 2 different things. The question heading into Seattle this Sunday, Everbank Stadium, 1 o'clock, how will the Jacksonville Jaguars handle the success of this 4-1 start here in 2025? We'll talk with Mark Duffner, a little Jaguar X's and O's coming up in about 20 minutes. I got a lot more thoughts about the game last night I want to get to. Again, look, a lot of things did not go Jacksonville's way. What I thought was hilarious, what I like to do either the night after or the next morning is just listen to a couple of podcasts or some radio stations in the opposing city where Jacksonville played or beat them, and in this case, Kansas City. And I like these Kansas City guys. In fact, I went on with both radio stations out in KC yesterday. My buddies at 96.5 The Fan, my buddies at WHB AM 810. I went on with both of them to preview the game, so I'm not talking ill will about these guys, but between them and some of the podcasts that I heard, some callers for the Chiefs calling in, they're blaming the officials. They are blaming the officials. Patrick Mahomes talked the officials into the first touchdown. The whole offensive interference, we have 1 yard, we got 1 yard, we got 1 yard. He talked them into it. Then, one of the most blatant non-pass interference calls you will ever see. Parker Washington gets crushed in the middle of his route. Just crushed. Last time I heard, you can't touch a receiver past 5 yards. Nevertheless, decleat him at the 9-yard mark. How that was not called was egregious. Egregious. And for Chiefs fans to have the audacity to blame the officials, are you kidding me? Maybe you just got a taste of your own medicine. You get every call in the book. That was blatant pass interference with 30 seconds to go. You can't face guard and tackle Brian Thomas with your back turned to the football. Jacksonville took advantage of the opportunities, took advantage of the calls. Hey, Kansas City, learn to kick the ball in bounds on the kickoff. Learn not to hold on every kickoff return. Love it. Love it. Kansas City fans were all fired up. Whatever. Enjoy 2 and 3. That's such a big win too, man. Because it's not just 2 and 3 for the Chiefs. You basically have a 3-game lead on them now if it comes to that. Because you're up 2 games already, and you have the tiebreaker in case it comes into playoff seeding down the line, which would be a wonderful situation to be in. If you're coming into playoff seeding, into that conversation with the Kansas City Chiefs in December or early January, you're doing a lot of good things from here on out. But we'll continue the conversation. Hit me up on the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Your thoughts on the Jaguars? Boy, responding to adversity, absolutely. Now how will they respond to success of a 4-1 start? With Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad to be back with you. It's a Tuesday night here on Hacker After Dark. We're with you till 10 o'clock. We're glad you're with us. More conversation on the Jaguars' big win 1 night ago over the Kansas City Chiefs coming up next.
John Osher knows Jacksonville football like Jack's Beach knows the ocean.
That makes 2 of us.
Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here. You know, I always talk about the guidance, the great coaching I get with Awaken 180 weight loss. My coach, Kate, has given me tremendous guidance, has talked me through the process. As a result, I lost over 100 pounds. I'm still on the maintenance program. It's absolutely fantastic. Well, for the month of October, if you call Awaken 180 Weight Loss, you will get a free consultation. A free consultation during the month of October with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If you need to start your weight loss journey like I had to do something. My life was not pleasant at 317 pounds. Awaken 180 gave me my life back. If it's time for you to get involved with your weight loss, Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. And in the month of October, get a free consultation with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
After the lights go down on Friday night, 1010XL flips the switch. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, Friday Night Lights. With Hacker and Dylan Denmark. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Get ready. Week 6 of the NFL season is officially here. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are gearing up to go head-to-head with the Seattle Seahawks in our crucial catch game dedicated to the fight against cancer. Join us October 12th at Everbank Stadium as we raise awareness through early detection, risk reduction, and education. Lock in your tickets now at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Keep your ball out of the rough with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Get great golf tips from the experts every Saturday morning at 10. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour on 1010XL.
Hey friends, Frank Frangie here. You know me. I don't mess around when it comes to taking care of business. Well, if your plumbing or AC company is giving you excuses, it's time to make a trade. Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. They're the trusted partner for some of the biggest commercial names in Northeast Florida. Their office team keeps billing smooth, and their field techs show up ready to fix the problem, fast and right. Bring in the starters with Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Tell them Frank sent you.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
It's an evening of connection, laughter, and friendly competition, celebrating the creativity and resilience of our community with costumes, bowling, and prizes. To find out more about the Community Bowling Costume Party October 24th, contact Rebel Recovery.
If you'd like to help dogs find new homes, you can enjoy food, drinks, music, and of course, dogs at the Fall Fermi Festival, November 8th. Find out more at kprok9.com.
Find out how you can be part of the cure for blood cancer at the Light the Night Walk at Five Star Ballpark, November 22nd. Take the first step at lightthenight.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
We're really not as concerned about the rest of the league in terms of how they view us, or we obviously want respect, but that's ours to take, and you want to have pride in what you do as a team, as an individual, as a coach, as a player, as a staff member. You want to have pride in what you do, and ultimately I think when you go out and win those type of games, you can have pride in how you walk and how you talk and how you parent and how you father and how you do everything. You have pride in what you're doing. I think our players right now have confidence. There's still a lot to clean up, but there's a lot of confidence in this building right now.
The thoughts of Jaguar head coach Liam Cohen earlier today. Thank you to our friends at Jaguars.com. You want to talk about rock star status? And I was telling Baloo this during the 2-minute drill. If you ever wondered how much coaching matters in the National Football League, look no further than the Jacksonville Jaguars over the last 5 games. Again, this is a Jaguar football team that lost 18 of 23 contests before Liam Cohen's arrival. They were 5-18 in their last 23 games. Some of those games, they got embarrassed. You remember last year when they played on Monday Night Football in Buffalo? It was 47-10. And you could legit argue it probably shouldn't have even been that close. Buffalo stopped playing in the fourth quarter. And in less than a calendar year's time, Liam Cohen has come in here, and James Gladstone and Tony Baselli and this majority of this new staff, and they got the Jaguars at 4-1 and one of the biggest surprises of the National Football League. Don't ever say coaching doesn't matter. My goodness, man. Coaching, the mindset, the attitude of this football team. You know, I know a lot of people, myself included, quite frankly, not that we were making fun, but we talked about James Gladstone, right? Intangibly rich guys to bring into the ecosystem, raise the floor of the roster. We all know the sayings. We said them ad nauseum during this offseason. Well, think about that now. Think about the Eric Murrays of the world. Think about the Patrick McCarrys and the Robert Haineses of the world, right? The Hunter Longs and the Johnny Munts of the world, the Chuma Edogas of the world. I won't even lump Jordan Lewis in there because Jordan Lewis has done more for the ceiling of the roster than the floor, but you know the point. I mean, these free agent signings were not household names. You know, you look at the draft class. Keep in mind, outside of Travis Hunter, your next 2 top draft picks haven't played a snap in the regular season. Ransaw's out all year. He's on IR. And Milam hasn't played at all due to injuries. Milam's going to come back at some point, but you haven't gotten a snap out of either one of your third-round picks. But yet you look at Bashal Tootin. You look at Jack Kaiser. You look at Rayon Lane last night. Those 2 special teams tackles. Huge plays. And then you look at the 2 seventh-rounders, man. LaQuint Allen Jr. and Jonah Monheim. Monheim coming in for the injured Robert Hainsey. And then obviously LaQuint Allen Jr. You got 2 seventh-rounders on the field in the final drive on Monday Night Football against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And they're making an impact in their 5th NFL game. Not to speak ill of anybody that's not here any longer, but come on, man. How often did you see 7th-round picks making contributions like that under some of the previous general managers here? Not very often. Crazy the job that Gladstone and Cohen have done. Let's hear more from Liam Cohen. He spoke earlier today down at the Miller Electric Center. Again, it's a short week for the Jaguars now. They're back down there tomorrow. The locker room will be open tomorrow afternoon. I'll be down there. I'll gather some one-on-one conversations that will play both tomorrow night and Thursday night on Hacker After Dark because Seattle rolls in here on Sunday, a good Seattle Seahawks football team. Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence. It was the full Trevor Lawrence experience last night. You had the bad, right? Throwing the ball 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, couple of delay of game penalties. The head scratching really wasn't Trevor. It was the officials and the Trevor interception, which, again, was a blatant, egregious miscall by the refs. How you don't call interference there is ridiculous. But then you also had the unbelievable Trevor, right? You had the throw to Brian Thomas on the final drive, the throw to De'Ami Brown on the final drive, falling down after tripping or getting stepped on by Macari, and then getting up and having the presence of mind to still find his way into the end zone. I mean, remember that Nike commercial back in the day, the Michael Vick experience? Well, we had the Trevor Lawrence experience at its finest last night. Liam Cohen was asked earlier today about the fire he saw from his starting quarterback one night ago.
Yeah, I love it. He's so calm, cool for the most part. He very much lives in this kind of level world, and I appreciate that as well. But to see him extending plays, using his legs, competing the way he was competing was the thing that I was very impressed with Trevor last night. To really, you talk about competitive greatness. We talk about competitive greatness all the time, and competitive greatness is being your best when your best is required. And regardless of what has happened, you've thrown for 400, you've thrown for 100, it doesn't matter. Being your best when your best is required, and in a 2-minute drill to go win the game, he makes arguably 2 of his best throws of the game to BT and Diami to put us in a position to go score. And obviously, the funky play at the end, but he willed himself. He willed himself to get into the end zone. He did it all night using his legs, playing hard, playing tough, showing some fire. I think our players did feed off that, and was really proud of the way he competed.
You know what I was thinking? Now, I'm not necessarily comparing Trevor to this guy as far as to say, well, he's going to end with the same career mark of this guy, because if Trevor turns in to have the same career as this guy, that would be a heck of a career for Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor has got some Brett Favre in him. And here's what I mean by that. People remember Brett Favre as an unbelievable NFL quarterback, and he was. He was a great player. I mean, a phenomenal football player. But do you realize that Brett Favre, in his career, threw 442 touchdowns? That's a lot of touchdowns, right? Threw for over 61,000 yards. Again, I'm not proclaiming Trevor is going to do that. But in saying that, Brett Favre also threw 286 interceptions in his career. Brett Favre would make 1 or 2 plays per game where Green Bay Packer fans, and I remember because I have a lot of Packer buddies, they would just look at you like, are you kidding? Why would you do that? Why would you make that throw? I remember a couple of games against Jacksonville, one in Lambeau Field where he made an awful throw that Rashean Mathis intercepted. Just horrible. I mean, one of his last throws of his career was that Viking playoff game, right, where he's throwing across his body and it's intercepted by New Orleans. It was that Tracy Porter that intercepted it. And I remember Paul Allen, the Viking play-by-play guy, no, you can't do that. I mean, it was a head-scratching throw. Why would you do that? He did it because at some point in the game, more times than not, he was going to make up for that egregious error. Brett Favre would throw you a pick or two. He was also going to put 250 yards on you and a couple of touchdowns. Trevor needs to get to that point. Right now, Trevor's making a couple of head-scratching plays, and he's throwing for $180 and 1 touchdown. We need to get that up to about 240 and 2 touchdowns with a couple of those head-scratching plays. But the point, I think you probably understand, Trevor has some Favre in him from the aspect of, all right, unbelievable talent, unbelievable arm. He'll make a couple of plays where you go, man, that is just an incredible throw. One of the best throws you'll see a quarterback make, like Trevor did last night to Brian Thomas Jr. But then Trevor will also have an instance or two where he'll throw the ball 1.5 yards past the line of scrimmage. Or he'll throw a pick that costs you points in the red zone. And at this point, 5 years in, he's 26 years old now. That's kind of who he is, right? Don't we have to start just accepting that, all right, that's probably who he is. That's who he's going to be moving forward. But if you play like he did last night, and if you play like he did for the large portion of the first 5 games, you will tolerate the bad moments because you get more good moments in return. And Trevor's got him at 4-1 right now. This Jaguar football team, one of the biggest surprises in the National Football League. Let's do a little Jaguars X's and O's. My buddy Mark Duffner, the coach, 50 years of coaching experience for Mark Duffner, both collegiately and in the National Football League. Let's review the win last night against Kansas City. Let's take an ever-brief look ahead at the Seattle Seahawks rolling in here on Sunday. Little Jaguar X's and O's with the coach, Mark Duffner, next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask. So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Jacksonville. All Elite Wrestling is coming home to Daly's Place for 2 huge nights. Dynamite Title Tuesday, October 7th, and as special Wednesday Collision, October 8th. Feel the real as the greatest professional wrestlers in the world deliver a homecoming to remember. Championships at stake on a Tuesday, and stars collide on a special night. It's AEW's Homecoming with Dynamite Title Tuesday, October 7th, and Collision, October 8th. Tickets on sale now, starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through October 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jacksonville Jaguars, 4-1 on the year. What a game last night at Everbank Stadium. The Jaguars defeat the Kansas City Chiefs for the first time since November 8th of 2009. And what a performance by Trevor Lawrence, Devin Lloyd, and that entire Jaguar roster. Let's talk about all of it, and let's already start taking a brief look ahead The NFL season keeps rolling. The Seattle Seahawks come into town this Sunday. The coach, Mark Duffner, 50 years of coaching experience. He's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, how are you, pal?
Are you kidding me, Hack? I'm doing tremendous. What a gutty, great performance by the Jaguars last night. Again, it was just the fans were proud and loud, and just a great night in the stadium.
Coach, what does it say about this team that they're down 14-0 to Mahomes and the Chiefs? Then they get the business from the officials in a horrific non-call that leads to a pick where the Chiefs end up tying the game. And then Mahomes has a Mahomes drive where Kansas City takes the lead with 1:45 to go. And they responded to all of that to ultimately win the game one night ago.
Well, I think it says a lot. It says a lot about the character, the guts, the personality of this football team. I mean, they showed a tenacious, resilient attitude. I mean, it was a heavyweight fight. As you just mentioned, the lead, I think, changed hands 5 times, and this team weathered their best punches against a very, very good team and found a way to win. They got back off the mat a number of times and delivered finally a knockout punch at the end. And I mean, so I think the experience that the coaching staff, the players got in a game like that last night is priceless, and will be one that they'll lean on as they continue to go through the rest of the season.
Let's first and foremost, Coach, begin with your bread and butter, the defensive side of the ball. I don't know if I'm overstating this. I don't know in the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you were a big part of that. I mean, you were on the coaching staff for, 7, 8 years here, so you can certainly speak to this. I don't know if I've ever seen a player have more of a turnaround than Devin Lloyd. I mean, if there was an NFL Defensive Player of the Year right now, Coach, I'm not sure if it's not Devin Lloyd. And that 99-yard interception return for a touchdown last night, holy moly, what a play, and what a call by Anthony Campanile.
Well, no question about that. And I've never seen anything like the start that he's had by any player, on defense at this point. And again, I mean, the great thing about Devin, I like how he's humble. He's very team oriented in terms of everything that he says and does. And he constantly talks about getting better and better. And certainly he's doing that. But, the fact when you watch that play, he kind of was bluffing around, or maybe not bluffing, but looked like he might, blitz on that particular play. But then, had an indicator that it was going to be passed. Dropped into an area where it looked like he clearly knew what the play was going to be. That's preparation prior to the game. Makes a great catch, catches the one you're supposed to catch, gets the ball that's thrown to you, and then makes people miss going down to score. And by the way, a tremendous block by Hines Allen on that 99-yard return. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And then, again, tremendous impetus to the team, attitude changer, if you will, by that play. So, they were giving up chunks of yards and plays at that time, Hack. But, again, finding ways to win. This defense, it bent a little bit, but it certainly didn't break.
Breaking down the Jaguar X's and O's with the coach, Mark Duffner, here on Hacker After Dark. And you look defensively, Coach. It's one thing to say, yeah, we want to be a physical defense, right? Everybody says that. I look at Eric Murray last night. I look at Dewey Wingard last night, Devin. I mean, you can name pretty much every defensive guy. Coach, they're laying the lumber. I mean, this team preaches physicality, and they're backing it up. There were some ferocious hits last night.
Across the board, Hack, just like that, and production across the board. You just mentioned it. Murray, 8 tackles. Wingard, 7 tackles. Campbell, 7 tackles. Olaquan, 14 tackles. I mean, everybody, contributing right now. That's the thing that excites me, and I think that the coaching staff has to be excited about, is this group just continues to compete. They finish on the ball. They find ways to win. I mean, they make plays when they have to make them. And I think that in the second half, there was some chances, there were some drives there where, boy, Kansas City's getting chunks of plays, chunks of yards, but they just stayed on it. I mean, there was a tremendous play by Buster Brown on a third down shot to Thornton that he breaks up. Critical play in the game. I think it was in about the 7th series, which forces a punt. And I mean, so I'm just telling you, a lot of people, you know, and that's what you want, great team defense. A lot of people stepping up and making plays. And I can't say enough for the fact of how relentless this group is.
Coach, I want to get to the offensive side of the ball in a moment, but again, so much experience that you have defensively. I want to ask you about Anthony Campanile. People are starting to talk about him as a first-year coordinator. Again, he's only been a defensive coordinator for 5 games. You look at this squad with 14 forced turnovers already. Assess the job that Campanile has done to this point.
Well, I think it's excellent. I mean, again, the whole coaching staff, but especially Anthony and the defense. I mean, that's his first Monday night game experience as a coordinator against Kansas City Chiefs, reigning perennial championship team. I mean, what he's done and what he's done is he's inspired this group of players to, number one, play hard, to hunt the football, to play with techniques. Really tremendous defensive attitude he's instilled in them. And then I think the other positive thing about him right now is the fact that, he's been doing a good job of calling the game, mixing coverage, mixing pressures, showing a lot of wisdom and maturity for a young coach, and who now has done an excellent job, I think, he and his staff, of fitting the scheme to the talents of his players, not the other way around. Letting these guys play. That's why you're seeing the type of production that this group demonstrates week after week after week. I mean, what they've done in takeaways, what they've done in terms of effort and finish and physicality, extremely impressive. So, I mean, he said God rewards those that finish on the ball. Well, God rewards the coach that prepares like he prepares. So, continued success, best wishes for him as far as that's concerned.
Couple more for the coach, Mark Duffner. All right, Coach, offensively, boy, we got the full Trevor Lawrence experience last night. Again, look, the interception, that was ridiculous. I cannot believe that it wasn't called. I don't put that on him. I put that on the official. That was crazy. But the throwing the ball 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, a couple of head-scratching delay of games, the fumble at the goal line, you're thinking, oh, my gosh. And then with all that being said, that 33-yarder to Brian Thomas with a minute to go, you could not possibly throw that ball any better. And then the next play to De'Ami Brown, you could not possibly throw that ball any better. And then the final game-winning touchdown, I mean, to make that play after tripping over Macari's foot, good grief, what a night for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, what a night, and it's already been mentioned by a lot of people on his birthday. What a present that he gave to the franchise and to the city and to this team. I mean, he had an accurate night in terms of throwing the ball, even with some of the miscues we talked about. But the thing I was most excited about, and I've been hoping for, was, because he can do it, was his scrambling ability. He made them pay as far as that's concerned. I think he ran the ball 10 times for 54 yards, 5-4 a carry. Now that's part of his game, and I think he's getting more comfortable with occasionally doing that. The stress that puts on the defense, and I mean a darn good defense that they played last night, is immense. I mean, the way I have to take my hat off to the guts, the resiliency, that the tenacious play that he did, leading them on that 2-minute drive down to score in what wasn't always perfect, but as you said, a couple of terrific throws. I mean, I thought it was outstanding. So my hat's off to him. I think he's going to gain big time from that. They've learned as a team and as an offense, hey, it's not over till it's over, and we can win these things. And like I said, they just beat a pretty doggone good team, put 31 points on probably the second best defense in the league against scoring. So great effort.
I want to talk about Seattle in a moment, Coach. Final thought on last night. I go back to the final touchdown for Trevor and Travis Etienne and that offensive line. There's no way that happens with Trevor falling down and then getting back up if Etienne doesn't pick up a blitzing linebacker, and if Ezra Cleveland and Walker Little don't absolutely destroy the defensive end on the left side. And with that being said, the offensive line in general, Anton Harrison leaves the game. Edoga comes in. They don't really miss a beat. Robert Hainsey leaves the game. Jonah Monheim comes in, does a good job there in the fourth quarter. This offensive line continues to play very good football.
Boy, you're not kidding. They sure as heck do. I mean, again, like you said, multiple players contributing. That's a sign of number one, good evaluation, but also number two, good coaching. These guys, I mean, they, like you said, they don't miss a beat. They were still able to rush for over 100 yards in the game. I mean, I thought really an outstanding effort by that group. And you know, the guy too that continues just to be a real gamer and a very productive player is ETN. Whether it be protection, whether it be runs when you got to have it. He had still over 4 yards of carry in the game. Caught the ball when we needed it as an outlet sometimes. So, I mean, just an excellent effort by that line, by the running back. Heck of a game.
All right, Coach. Again, Mark Duffner here with us as we begin to wrap up. The NFL clock never stops, right? I mean, the Seattle Seahawks, a good Seahawk football team, is getting on an airplane Saturday. They'll be here on Sunday. It's going to be a quick turnaround. After an emotional win like that on a short week, I mean, this could be a tough putt for Jacksonville on Sunday, correct?
Oh, I think it can, absolutely. But I think that when they put on the tape of Seattle, both offensively and defensively, the Jaguars will certainly recognize they've got a heck of a team coming in here. You know, they had won 3 in a row and should have been 4 in a row in terms of their effort this past weekend. So a team right now that, geez, the quarterback, Darnold, is playing as good a ball as he ever has in his career and as good as anybody in the league. And then they've got, you know, explosive players across the board. I mean, this JCN, the wide receivers, I think second in the league in yards. I mean, they got explosive players. The running back right now, they're 2 running backs, Walker and Charbonnet, are as good a duo as there is in the league. So, I mean, this is a pretty strong physical football team. They like to pound the ball just like we do. And so, I mean, they present big issues as far as their offense is concerned. Then in defense, they're also, I think, probably second in the league, or they were in scoring. Now they gave up, I think, 4 touchdowns against Tampa Bay, but they were ranked highly in terms of sacks, run defense, interceptions, total defense, red zone, yards per rush in terms of rushing defense. I mean, highly ranked, well-coached defense that tackles and runs the ball well. And also, by the way, is a pretty strong pressure team. So there's a lot of challenges with the Seattle team, who I think is going to come in, anxious to get back on the winning side as far as that's concerned. So, and they've had a little bit more time. So again, it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Coach, final question. We're running a little long here, but I want to ask you this. We've got about 60 seconds.
Sure.
Liam Cohen has wondered how this team would respond to adversity. I think we know that. Now the question is, how do they respond to success? People are loving on them now. They got to stay the course, right? They got to remember that, 2 weeks ago, nobody cared, and now that they're getting this national love, they got to keep the same mindset.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in the mindset of this team right now. They've had some big challenges, playing good football teams, and they've responded in a big way, beating Houston as they did, beating the 49ers as they did, winning on Monday Night Football, the biggest stage that there is. I mean, and multiple units and multiple players participating and contributing in those situations. So I like the mindset right now. I think the coaching staff has done a good job of consistently challenging the group to prepare, to focus, to practice hard. You see that in the way this team plays. And so I think you're going to continue to get the same style of ball, which is, smart, physical, and tough, and kind of reflective of the head coach's personality. And I'm excited to see it continue. I think it will.
We always love breaking down the Jaguar X's and O's with the coach, Mark Duffner. Coach, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. We'll talk again soon, pal.
I look forward to it, Hack. Again, you're doing a tremendous job for the fans and what you provide for them in terms of information and detail for the Jaguars.
1010XL is your home for play-by-play of Bishop Kenny football.
The Crusaders march to St. Augustine for a Friday night fight against the Falcons. Bishop Kenny Menendez at 7 on 92.5 FM.
Get ready. Week 6 of the NFL season is officially here. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are gearing up to go head-to-head with the Seattle Seahawks in our crucial catch game dedicated to the fight against cancer. Join us October 12th at Everbank Stadium as we raise awareness through early detection, risk reduction, and education. Lock in your tickets now at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here, and I know that getting into an accident is stressful, but getting the proper care doesn't have to be. That's why I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Even if you're at fault, your insurance covers you. And remember, you have the right to choose your own doctor. Even a minor accident can cause whiplash for years if it goes untreated. So don't wait. Call the auto accident experts at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Your recovery starts today.
From Spurrier's Playbook to ESPN Studios, Chris Doring knows college football, and he brings his Gator greatness to the drill with Dan and Jeff, Tuesday mornings at 7:20. Protected by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
Legends of the Billy Joel Band, the Lords of 52nd Street, performing the hits you know and love from Billy Joel.
Got a call from an old friend, we used to be real close.
October 16th at Florida Theater, featuring Liberty DeVito, Russell Chavers, and Richie Cannata. Get tickets now at floridatheater.com.
Say goodbye to Hollywood.
The Lords of 52nd Street.
Say goodbye, my baby.
Get your tickets at floridatheater.com.
We know what to look for. We go right to the source, the connections. But yeah, we go directly to the source.
Dan and John Lupo at Beards Diamonds talking about what it means to be a direct diamond importer.
We do a lot of business out of India. We do a lot of business out of Antwerp, Belgium, Israel, Africa as well. We will do whatever it takes to get the stone that the customer wants at the best price guaranteed.
So every diamond at Beards is hand-picked and brought in with no third-party markups. And so with no commission salespeople and no Wall Street quotas, Beards can price every diamond for less.
If they've been shopping, which we encourage, and then come to us, and they're kind of, at first, they're like, oh, why is this $5,000 or $7,000 less?
Best value guarantee, best selection guarantee, best experience, bar none, guaranteed. From Jacksonville's locally owned diamond powerhouse.
The family, the relaxed atmosphere, and we're there for each other.
It gives us a big advantage being local, and we love Jacksonville. The money stays in Jacksonville, by the way.
Beards Diamonds in St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
Business owners, are you tired of getting the runaround from your plumbing or AC vendors? Fire them now and call Duck Duck Rooter. Duck Duck Rooter is the trusted partner for some of the largest commercial companies in Northeast Florida. From a professional accounting office that makes contracts and invoicing seamless to highly skilled field technicians who fix the problems fast, they handle it all. Make the smart move today with Duck Duck Rooter. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL is your home for Florida Gators football. Protected by the law firm of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Follow every Gators game on 1010XL. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Jamal St. Cyr, Channel 4, joins me coming up here in less than 15 minutes. More reaction to the Jaguar victory one night ago over the Kansas City Chiefs. And we will begin looking ahead to a good Seattle Seahawks football team that comes to Everbank Stadium on Sunday. When you take a look back at Week 5 of the National Football League, Boy, the comebacks, right? There were a ton of comebacks. Jacksonville was one. How about Denver going into Philadelphia? What a statement. You know, we're talking about comebacks and statements. Jacksonville made a statement. I think Denver made a statement going into Philadelphia, into the home of the world champions, and beating the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the New England Patriots made a statement going into Buffalo and knocking off the Buffalo Bills. So no one's undefeated. Everybody has at least one loss. And of course, the Jaguars are one of the teams that are 4-1. One of the best records, tied for the best record in the National Football League. But I do. Jacksonville, New England, Denver. 3 teams in the AFC. 3 teams that beat the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Eagles, respectfully, this weekend. I think all 3 made pretty big statements. A big statement was made in Carolina. The statement is Mike McDaniel's in trouble. He won't be long for that job, I don't think. You can see the writing on the wall. I don't necessarily know if it's going to happen in the next week or 2, but Miami, their only win is against the worst team in the league in the Jets. They're up 2 touchdowns in Carolina against what's thought to be a bad Panther team. And Carolina comes back to win the game in just heartbreaking fashion for Miami. Yikes. It's not good for the Dolphins right now as they sit at 1-4. It's not good for the Baltimore Ravens either. My goodness. How the mighty have fallen. How many years has Baltimore either won that division, been a wild card, or at least been in contention for a playoff spot deep into the season? And that probably won't be the case. They're very injured, and they just, quite frankly, aren't very good right now. They sit 1-4 after losing by 34 at home to the Houston Texans. Again, I don't think Houston's particularly good. I think they beat up on an awful Tennessee team and a very down Baltimore team. We'll know how good Houston is after their bye when I believe they go to Seattle. I think the Seahawks play the Texans after they play here in Jacksonville. Speaking of the Titans, they won one of the most miraculous games imaginable. Still can't believe Tennessee won that game. What an utter embarrassment for Arizona. And not only an embarrassment, but what an unbelievable situation involving Jonathan Gannon, the Cardinal head coach. Did you see this? So in the game, DeMercado, the running back, their third running back, because James Conner's out for the year and Trey Benson is out for a month. DeMercado busts off, I think, a 72-yard run into the end zone, going to put the game out of reach. I think he would have made it 28-6. Lets the ball go at the half-yard line. We've seen it a couple of times this year. Well, Jonathan Gannon, the coach of the Arizona Cardinals, was very frustrated by that. And he got in to DeMercado on the sideline, basically berating him. And then what looked like some physical contact as well. Now, Gannon apologized yesterday about his behavior. That didn't stop the Arizona Cardinals from fining him $100,000. They said that will be the only punishment, but $100,000, $100,000 for a fine for Jonathan Gannon for Arizona for his behavior involving running back Amari DeMercado and letting the ball go there at the half-yard line. And by the way, this is something we'll get into as the week goes on. I got into it with a couple of people on Twitter this weekend. Denmark, I know that's a surprise to you that I was mixing it up with people on social media, but it tends to happen from time to time when it's warranted. I got all these Indianapolis Colts people coming at me and coming at Jaguar fans. Colts this, Colts that, right? Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars beat San Francisco 11 days ago, 10 days ago, and the San Francisco 49ers have 4 wins on the year by themselves. The Colts have 4 wins as well, and the 4 opponents they have beaten have a combined 4 wins. The Colts have beaten up on 3 awful teams, and they beat Denver because the referees called leverage after Indianapolis had already lost the game. The only teams that Colts have played, the Rams beat them, and the Broncos beat them if not for that penalty. The Colts' victories this year against the 1-win Dolphins, the 1-win Raiders, and the 1-win Tennessee Titans. I am not a Colts believer. Their schedule gets amazingly tougher with road games against Pittsburgh, Seattle, Kansas City, Jacksonville, Houston, all coming up. They also have to play San Francisco, Jacksonville, and Houston up in Indy. We'll see how good the Colts are when that schedule gets tougher, because it is coming. That schedule will get tougher in a couple of weeks. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. Jacksonville will take you up till 10 o'clock, as we do every night. Back into the Jaguars' victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. My buddy Jamal St. Cyr, Channel 4, joins me next here. It's Hacker After Dark.
Every Friday in the fall is Pregame Friday.
Is this what I think it is? Yes, it is.
We'll get you ready for the games. Who's in, who's out.
This is what I'm talking about.
Built by Dream Finders Homes. Homes built to fit your lifestyle on 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantley, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 7th, 1984, Walter Payton gained his 12,313th rushing yard, breaking the record set by NFL great Jim Brown.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple, the installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic Floors, where every step is fantastic.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
It's an evening of connection, laughter, and friendly competition, celebrating the creativity and resilience of our community with costumes, bowling, and prizes. To find out more about the Community Bowling Costume Party October 24th, contact Rebel Recovery.
If you'd like to help dogs find new homes, you can enjoy food, drinks, music, and of course, dogs at the Fall Fermi Festival, November 8th. Find out more at kprok9.com.
Find out how you can be part of the cure for blood cancer at the Light the Night Walk at ViStar Ballpark November 22nd. Take the first step at lightthenight.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jacksonville Jaguars, 4-1 on the year after just a thrilling come-from-behind victory on Monday night against Kansas City, the first time in 16 years they have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. That NFL clock, though, never stops as the Seattle Seahawks, a good Seahawk football team, arrive in Jacksonville this Sunday. Let's talk about all of it with Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4, always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Jamal, I hope you got a little bit of sleep last night.
Maybe a little bit here or there, but all good. I mean, Monday Night Football is always fun. Those night games are fun. I mean, look, that one wasn't one you were going to skimp out early on, right?
It wasn't, but at 14-0, I think a lot of people thought, here we go again. The horrors of national TV will continue for the Jaguars. And Jamal, talk about resiliency, man. 14-0, the fumble on the goal line. Then the referees just robbed Jacksonville in that ridiculous no call on the Trevor interception. And then Mahomes does his thing and drives Kansas City down to go up with a minute 45 to go. And none of that mattered because Jacksonville responded every single time.
Yeah, look, they kept taking punches. I mean, I guess the theme that Coach Camp showed the defense was a boxing match. And look, they kind of embodied that. It didn't go down early. I forget what fight it was, but I was talking to Jordan Lewis in the locker room, and he told us whatever match it was, the guy went down early, but he fought back and fought to the end and went the whole distance and ended up winning the fight. So, similar enough to what happened in the game. They went down early. They were down 14-0, but they got up off the mat and they kept swinging, and you know what? They got the last punch in.
Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. All right, we got the full Trevor Lawrence experience last night. Again, I'm not going to blame him for the interception. That was on the ref. That was ridiculous. I could not believe that wasn't called pass interference. But when he throws the ball 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, that was a head scratcher. A couple of just unbelievable delay of game penalties. You're thinking, oh my gosh. But that throw to BTJ with a minute to go, and then the throw to De'Ami Brown, and then what he did after tripping to get up and to find the end zone. I mean, what a crazy game for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, look, it was a wild game. I mean, it was a little bit of everything. I do think we get the throw past the line of scrimmage, watching it from our vantage point or watching it on the TV. Like, there's not lines and stuff down there. It's a little bit easier to make that mistake when you're just running around down there trying to make a play. So I get it. He's got to know better and have a little bit better field awareness. But, I mean, look, overall, I think Trevor played a solid game. He got the job done. It's not one that I think anybody's necessarily going to write home about for the way he was throwing the ball, but there are a few throws in there that really, right there on the mark where they had to be when you needed them. I think the passing game's still kind of figuring it out. There were a couple of tough drops in there that, again, those aren't Trevor's fault. The ball gets there, hits the guy in the hands. What do you want him to do? And there's a couple in there where you kind of held your breath for a second because you thought the Chiefs probably came up with an interception, but they ended up dropping them. So overall, Jaguars come out on the win, and Trevor made some crucial plays with his arm, crucial plays with his legs, and you just hope that they can keep building off of it. It wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but they got the job done.
7 grabs for $144 combined for Hunter and BTJ. You hope that's the start of something, correct?
Yeah, look, that catch from Travis Hunter, that is what everyone saw at Colorado. I mean, there's a couple of plays in there. I mean, there's the one where he makes the guys miss and kind of gets up the corner. Like, we've seen the yak from him, but the downfield catch to go up, get it over two guys, that's the one that we hadn't seen at the NFL level yet. And you saw it at Colorado, and the Jaguars talking, they got to get this downfield passing game going. You got to get Travis Hunter going on it, and you get him to show up in a big-time moment with a big old catch. Those are the sorts of plays. You can see the confidence growing in him. You can see BTJ getting into, well, I mean, back to what we expected BTJ to be and making those plays, going up and kind of making those tough catches, tight coverage. They're doing it, and it's kind of a building point. It's a gradual process, and it's going to take a little while for everybody because this is a new offense for them. So Brian's learning this new scheme. Trevor's learning this new scheme. Travis Hunter's learning a new scheme. De'Ami Brown's learning a new scheme. I mean, everybody's trying to put these pieces together. It's not perfect right now, but you know what? It's good enough that they're winning games and they're moving the football really well. I mean, I think it's lost that the Jaguars were on the 1 yard line and fumbled it. 9 times out of 10, that's either a touchdown or 3 points. Like, so yeah, he fumbled it on the one trying to go over the top. It happens. Overall, look, they've moved the ball really well in these games. Even in that loss against Cincinnati, they were able to get up and down the field. So this offense isn't perfect right now, but they are moving the football. So there's a whole lot of signs of life that there's going to be something good on the other side once everything kind of clicks together.
Couple of more for Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. The offensive line 2 weeks in a row. Anton Harrison leaves for a time. Edoga comes in, again, does a nice job. And then Hainsey leaves in the fourth quarter of Monday Night Football against the defending AFC champion. And in comes 7th-round pick Jonah Monheim going one-on-one with Chris Jones on the BTJ catch with a minute to go. And he stoned him. I mean, what a job by the rookie last night.
Man, look, if anybody was on the fence on James Gladstone, go watch that fourth quarter when you see Jonah Monheim on the field and LaQuint Allen on the field in crunch time Monday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know what other statement you could say that you got a solid GM besides in his first draft. He found 2 guys in the 7th round that are playing meaningful football as rookies.
There's no doubt about that. And LaQuint Allen on that play, too, right to the solar plexus of Chris Jones. And Chris Jones has enough problems with his own media and fan base after maybe the lack of effort on the Trevor Lawrence game-winning touchdown. Jamal, defensively, Devin Lloyd, and look, you're around this team every day. I don't know, and I legitimately mean this, and I hope I'm not overstating this. I don't know in the 30-year history of the Jaguar franchise if I've seen a bigger, I guess, turnaround is what I'll call it, than what we've seen out of Devin Lloyd. I mean, if there was an NFL Defensive Player of the Year award 5 weeks in, Jamal, Devin Lloyd might win that award for the entire league right now.
Yeah, look, dude's playing lights out. I mean, he's playing absolutely lights out right now. This is the best football of his career, and it's not close. He keeps making plays. I think you're at a point where, he's playing at an all-pro level. And that's what guys in the locker room said. Look, if he's not an all-pro when it's all said and done, then he needs to go on ahead and remake the standards to be on the team because Devin Lloyd is playing absolutely ballistic right now. It is ridiculous. I mean, the clip of plays that he's making, because he's just making a different play every week. And look, you could say it's a contract year kind of thing because he is in a contract year. So big time moment. You could say it's the product of the new defensive coaching staff, putting him in the right spots and letting him play to his strengths. It's a little bit of that too, but a lot of it's hard work. I mean, all the players have raved. Josh Hines-Allen says Devin beats him in the building a lot of times. The coaches have said since they got there, Devin Lloyd has spent more time in the building with the defensive coaches than a lot of people. So Devin Lloyd's put in a lot of hard work, a lot of time to try and get himself to this point where he's playing this sort of football, and now it's showing up.
Now, there's no doubt about that. Final moments with Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. And the one thing about the defense as a whole, a lot of teams, basically every team, talks about being physical or bringing the physicality. Boy, the Jaguars are laying the lumber. I mean, Eric Murray, a big hit last night. Wingard, a big hit. We know the linebackers, the D-line. A lot of teams talk about being physical. The Jaguars are actually doing it on the field.
I talked to Tony Baselli on Monday before the game, and he said, look, if there's one thing that I can guarantee you is going to show up on that field is that the Jaguars are going to play physical football. He said that's the type of team they're building. That's the type of culture they want to be, that win or lose or draw, they want teams to know if they play the Jags that it's going to be a fight. And that's exactly what it looks like. Those defenders running around the offensive line, blocks, they're getting downfield, they're laying folks out. And this team is playing a physical brand of football now. And that has been instilled. That has been the decision, and those are the types of guys that they're going to put on the field where, yeah, they're not going to lead on the scoreboard at the end of every game. Nobody is. But if a team's going to beat them, they're going to know they're going to be in a fight. And I don't think that's just something they're saying, because you see it showing up on the field. I see it showing up on the field, and so does everybody else.
Jamal, as we begin to wrap up, I want to end with Seattle. But, Liam Cohen's asked for a long time now. He wants to know how this team is going to respond to adversity. I think we have that answer. Now the question is, how are they going to respond to success? They're getting a lot of national love this morning for being 4-1. There are a ton of people now talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm not even sure they knew the Jaguars existed before the last week or two. Is that going to be a question that you have? How will this team respond to success?
I think that's a fair question, Hacker. I hadn't gotten there yet. I was thinking the wonky weeks, because you go from Monday night to Sunday, so short week there, and then you flip right from Sunday to London. So a couple of weeks for the Jags. But I think that's a fair question, because if you remember a couple years back, where you have Doug, they have the success, and then they fall apart down the stretch, and it kind of felt like they got a little bit complacent. I think the lessons for a lot of guys in the locker room from what happened a couple of years back, where it all fell apart because they got to the top and said, "Oh, we're here, we've arrived," and then they had to go all the way back down to the ground floor. I think that's going to pay dividends here. Look, we'll see. I mean, a lot has changed, a lot of new faces, a new coaching staff. Everything's different now. But I do think a lot of the guys in the locker room still remember that. They still remember how they were on the top of the world, and then it all came crashing down as they started losing those games and ended up missing the playoffs that year.
You mentioned Seattle. Let's end with them. The NFL clock never stops, right? The Seahawks are coming in, a good Seahawk team. Jamal, this is going to be tough, right? Short week. I mean, heck, they're back. We're back in the Jaguar locker room tomorrow to talk about Seattle, and the game just ended, less than 24 hours ago. What's your thought on the Seahawks coming in on Sunday?
Seahawks are good. Seahawks are a good football team. I mean, this is a tough game for them. Maybe you get a little bit of help because Grant Udinski spent last year with Sam Darnold. So can he give you a little insight into how Sam plays? Maybe. And so maybe that helps you just a little bit. But overall, Seahawks are a really good football team. They play a physical brand of football. They've been out there balling. They're doing stuff. The run defense is going to have to be on top tier because they're going to run that football. And look, their defense has been playing lights out football. So Trevor Lawrence and the offense are going to have their work cut out for them out there on the field. So, look, I think this is a tough game. I think it helps them that they are at home because just like we talk about it when they go to the West Coast, Seattle has to make the trip all the way to Florida. So that'll help you a little bit probably. But overall, this is one that's going to be tough on a short week. There's no gimmies in the NFL, but this one's going to be a real tough one. So we'll see. I mean, like you said, can they build off success? You took down the Chiefs. Is there that and you show up and Seattle knocks you back into reality? You hope not, because you got to keep pace with the Indianapolis Colts at this point, who just keep on rolling. So it's going to be tough, and they got to figure out a way to take down Seattle. But you hope maybe Udinski can help you a little bit into the mind of Sam Darnold.
I like that. The fact that Udinski and Darnold, I'll give you another one. Liam Cohen's guys in Tampa last year, they just put a number on that Seattle defense on Sunday, and Cohen runs basically the same thing, right? So I think you look at what Tampa did to Seattle last week, and that could potentially help you in this matchup on Sunday. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, what do you guys have planned on Sunday when the Seahawks come in?
Hey, we'll be over at the Slab tailgating, or tailgating as we like to call it. So we'll be hanging out there from 11 to noon. We'll be counting down to kickoff. So we'll be live on Channel 4. So if you're out tailgating, come by, say hello. If not, you can hang out with us over on News for Jax from 11 to noon as we kind of count you down to kickoff.
And it'll be a big football weekend. The game on Sunday, a big college slate. And, of course, Justin Barney and I on the social media platforms of both Channel 4 and 1010XL will have Friday Night Lights for you streaming beginning at 7 o'clock this Friday evening. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time, man. We'll talk again soon.
Anytime, Hacker.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Here's a simple tip for shoulder health to improve your posture. Slouching can put extra stress on your shoulders, leading to pain and injury. Make sure your head is over your shoulders are relaxed and pulled back, and your spine is properly aligned, whether you're sitting or standing. If you sit for long periods of time, make sure to get up and take breaks, and work on pulling your shoulders back. Get up and get moving, Jacks, and go Jags.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in '96? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle Fencing. Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida since 1927. Heck, Coyle has been installing fences since before Emery Bellard installed the wishbone offense. If you need a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle Fence today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. I think I'm some kind of football prophet.
Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
What's happening, folks? It's your main man, E.T., of course. And whether you're biking through shaded forest trails, casting a line from Camp Chow Pier, or enjoying music by the St. Johns River, Clay County is full of ways to play. This month, experience off-road trails at the 2025 Crawling for the Fallen. Savor bold flavors and classic rides at Moose Haven's 15th annual Chili Cook-Off and Car Show, and celebrate the fall season at fall festivals all across the county. Find a full lineup at ExploreClay.com. Come on, somebody.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Jacksonville, it's game time. And just like the Jaguars fight for every yard on the field, Duck Duck Rooter fights for every customer at home. From plumbing repairs to septic pump outs to keeping your AC cool all season long. We've got the winning playbook. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and delivers championship service every time. When plumbing, septic, or AC problems put you on defense, don't fumble the call. Dial 904-862-6767 $1.69 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the duck.
Legends of the Billy Joel Band, the Lords of 52nd Street, performing the hits you know and love from Billy Joel.
Got a call from an old friend, we used to be real close.
October 16th at Florida Theater, featuring Liberty DeVito, Russell Chavers, and Richie Cannata. Get tickets now at floridatheater.com.
Say goodbye to Hollywood.
The Lords of 52nd Street.
Say goodbye, my baby.
Get your tickets at floridatheater.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us. 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Much more on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, the locker room's already going to be open tomorrow as they begin preparations for the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday. I will be down there. Hopefully be able to get you some one-on-one conversations. Big news in Jaguar land today. Britton Strange to IR, short-term IR. It appears about 4 weeks is what they're expecting. So Britton Strange will be out for about a month. He was having a very good year so far, so that's going to be a loss. They're going to have to make up for that. Hunter Long, who I like. I told you guys that last week. I'm a big Hunter Long fan. Obviously, his role will increase. Johnny Munt's role will increase. Quentin Morris, mainly a special teams player, although I thought he did some nice things in the preseason. He's got a lot of NFL experience, too. He played 4 years up in Buffalo. His role will certainly increase. So you're not going to be able to make up completely for Britton Strange, I don't think. But hopefully Morris, Munt, and Long can give you enough until Britton Strange gets back into the lineup. In the world of college football, look, I know it happened 3 days ago, but what a win for Billy Napier. What a win for the University of Florida. He's done it again. The guy's got more lives than Michael Myers, man. When you think he's dead and gone, he just pops up. He's like the Undertaker for you wrestling fans, and a big win, a dominating win over Texas. Was it a blip on the radar, or can they rattle off a few in a row? We're going to find out pretty quick because they go to a top 10 team on Saturday at night in College Station against Texas A&M. Let's recap the win over Texas. What does it mean for Billy Napier's future? And let's look ahead to Texas A&M. My buddy Zach Goodall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247. He does an absolutely terrific job covering Florida football, and he joins me next on a Tuesday night here in the city of Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us. Till 10 o'clock, it's Hacker After Dark.
It's a coast-to-coast clash as the Bluebirds get their feathers ruffled under the Teal Thunder. This time, we're back at the bank against one of the NFC's best. Jaguars Seahawks, Sunday at 1. It's a no-fly zone at the bank on the home of the Jaguars. 1010 XL.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller. Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask. So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do. Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, the only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by November 6th.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rollie.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. The law firm of Farah and Farah and Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Go Gators!
Jacksonville, All Elite Wrestling is coming home to Daly's Place for 2 huge nights. Dynamite Title Tuesday, October 7th, and as special Wednesday Collision, October 8th. Feel the real as the greatest professional wrestlers in the world deliver a homecoming to remember. Championships at stake on a Tuesday, and stars collide on a special night. It's AEW's Homecoming with Dynamite Title Tuesday, October 7th, and Collision, October 8th. Tickets on sale now, starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
All right, Prosser here, and I've been telling you about Chad and Sandy. They make the promise. Let me show you some of the proof. This is Nicoletta and Daniel in Panther Creek. We don't recommend this, but we bought our new house before we sold our old one. Then worst case scenario happened. Our old home failed to sell in a year with another realtor. Finally, we got smart. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they sold it in 10 days above asking price. These are the results you're getting with Chad and Sandy at chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to have the right people on your side. Maybe you want max price. Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling. Maybe you just want to sell right now. Well, fast, easy, and stress-free, that's what Chad and Sandy bring to you. They have this guarantee. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. They're the local real estate experts you can trust for all of your real estate needs. Go to chadandsandy.com today. That's chadandsandy.com, or call that help hotline, 904-414-6200.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at AMCOJacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us, and what a difference a football game makes. 60 little minutes, but man alive, the feeling in Gator Nation this week compared to last week is completely night and day. Florida pretty much dominates Texas, right? I think the final score was not as indicative of what that game pretty much was, which was a big Florida victory. And now they go to the state of Texas to play Texas A&M, another top 10 opponent. With all that being said, Zach Goodall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247, certainly one of our guys down in Gainesville. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Zach, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, Hacker. Yeah, let me tell you what. Florida fans want to see much more than one win to be forgiving as to the start of this season, but they're on the right track to doing that at a bare minimum. Talk about a real energy and vibe changer.
Zach, how does that happen? How do they go from throwing 5 picks against LSU and then against Miami to having 30 yards of offense in the first half to doing what they did against Texas? I mean, is it as simple as Dallas Wilson was healthy, or is there more than that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because going into the game, I was pessimistic that they would be able to flip the switch as they suggested the bye week was at least presenting the opportunity for them to do. But right, they have that week off after DJ's back-to-back. You can call them back-to-back career worst games, and it's tough to pick which one was worse. But they not only have that week for Lagway is able to get more practice reps after obviously his very disrupted offseason, and you pair that with Dallas Wilson making his Florida debut, record-setting in every category for receptions, yards, and touchdowns. In a freshman's debut at receiver for Florida, he was just on fire, and that really commanded Texas's defensive attention. That allowed Vernell Brown to catch DJ Lagway's best, longest pass of the season. Even J. Michael Sturdivant was able to make something with his opportunities. Aiden Mize involved. To me, and I know that I've talked to you about it looking like DJ's still dealing with something with his shoulder, but that wasn't something I would have been able to guess on Saturday night. Now, he got injured again at one point in the game and had to go to the medical tent. Looked like something with his leg. But maybe that even helped, because to me, when he's been out there, it seems like he's panicked at times. And when he comes off his first read, he's tried to extend plays, didn't really go too well, has led to the offense stalling out. If anything, maybe after the injury, he seemed a little more poised in the pocket. He wasn't trying to break off and make plays with his legs. He was going through his reads. He was looking off safeties. As a result, I thought it was one of the best games of his career. He completed 75% of his passes, and to pair with that, they weren't dinks and dunks. They weren't just little take what you can get. He averaged 10.5 yards per attempt, 10.6 even. It's the first time in his career that he's been over 10 while completing 75% of his passes in a start. So all around, really fantastic game from him, even if you include the interception he threw there late. Otherwise, really clean football game, and it definitely helped to have Dallas Wilson out there making the impact that I know I, at least to an extent, expected of him, but maybe he even surpassed my expectations.
Zach Goodall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247. All right, Billy Napier, we've seen this before. He was as good as gone last year, and then a couple of bye weeks, and then all of a sudden, Florida ends up 8-5. I don't think Gator fans will be as forgiving this year unless they pull off some massive wins in the next couple of weeks. But it's crazy to me that the script is at least in place for something like this to happen 2 years in a row. Why does this happen for Billy Napier?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the comparisons. To me, I guess, put it as mildly as I can. He's like a cat. He's got 9 lives. Every time his back is put up against the wall, for some reason, one way or another, his team comes out firing. And this is a perfect example of it, much like that winning streak they went on last season after the horrible start to the year. I don't know how it's possible. You don't really see teams across college football put in that kind of fight, but that's exactly what they did on Saturday night. We just talked about the offense. To me, arguably the most impressive aspect was the defense coming out and playing. And I would note, I think Florida's had a good defense this year. They haven't had the disruption or pressure numbers. They haven't had the turnovers. It all kind of came together in this game against an offense that obviously has been underwhelming this year in Texas, and Arch Manning has not lived up to the hype. But even still, it's an incredibly well-recruited roster that should have been able to put up more fight, even against as good of a defense as Florida has. And Florida just wrecked them. I mean, I know they got back into it at the end as Florida went a bit more conservative on offense, but Arch Manning led Texas in rushing by a significant margin because he had to break away. He was under pressure on 35. I know he was at least 35 pressures were recorded against him. Maybe not on dropbacks, but that could account for, multiple players getting into the backfield on the same play, getting him off his spot, making him go and try and make a play with his legs because it wasn't there for him in the passing game. He was taken down 6 times. Florida entered the game 34 team-wide pressures on the year, 3 sacks. They more than doubled their pressure count with 35 in the game, and they tripled their sack count, getting up to 9 now on the year. So to see that kind of fight out of the defense in particular is really what stood out to me.
And you brought up a good point, and I said the same thing or something similar earlier this week. Look, the media and the fan base can say whatever they want about Billy Napier, and trust me, a lot has been said, myself included. But the players obviously love the guy. Because last year, in the land of NIL, in the land of the portal, they could have very easily said, to heck with this, I'm out of here, or woe is me, and they didn't do that. And they ended up winning 4 games in a row. This year was probably even worse, right? We were, honestly, I've been having segments on my show, who's going to replace Billy Napier, more so than even talking about the game. And obviously in the land of social media, kids know what's going on. They hear what's going on. And to go out there and fight for a second year in a row for the same head coach, there is something to be said for that.
I completely agree. I think to build upon your point, too, that bye week, obviously it came at the best time possible for Florida to get their game together. In theory, it came at the worst time possible because Florida could, if players saw the writing on the wall and were as discouraged as you might think they would be at a 1-3 start for a season that had such high expectations, players could have opted out. They could have taken the redshirt year. It wouldn't have been a great look, but in this day and age, teams are forgiving of that. Agents are advising for players to do what's best for them. They could have opted out and taken the red shirt and made this hole even deeper for Florida to get out of. Not a single player did that. Everyone stuck around, stuck through, and they go out and put out their best performance at least since the end of last season, if not one of their better ones all around of the Napier tenure. Again, even if you include how it got kind of conservative and Texas kind of clawed its way back there at the end, whether it was the offense performing the way it did, the defense being lights out, even special teams with the punt block safety. That's the first time a punt block has turned into a safety for Florida since 2008. So they were firing on all cylinders, and that's just really a testament to, like you mentioned, like these players fighting for their coach, regardless of what the outside narrative is.
A couple of more for Zach Goodall of 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247. All right, it's one game. It was a nice game, but it's only one game. And now their reward for that is a trip to the 12th man on Saturday night to play a top 10 team in Texas A&M inside College Station. That's a tough task. Now, the interesting subplot to this one is if DJ Lagway were not at Florida, odds are he would be at Texas A&M. I know that was the one Texas school that was in on him until the very end. It wasn't really the Longhorns. It was the Aggies for him. So now he is going to the school that recruited him probably the most in his home state. Certainly an interesting subplot for this game on Saturday night.
Yeah, no doubt. And it'll be a matchup of two when DJ's at his best, at least. And if he is to be at his best this game, two really dynamic quarterbacks. Because Marcel Reed, Florida fans are well familiar with when he came in and really lit up the Gators defense last year in his first career start. He's the true dual threat that has traditionally given Florida problems defensively, even when they've been good defensively. You can look to Arch Manning. Again, the pass rush was there, but Arch was able to do some things with his legs that I think Marcel Reed is even more capable of doing, not to mention one of the best offensive lines in the SEC. He's got some really unique weapons there. He's been throwing the ball around the yard and been really impressive this season. So it could end up being, unless the offense for Florida regresses back into the shell it wasn't before, as long as DJ Lagway and Dallas Wilson and company are firing, a real offensive showdown between these two teams. And to your point too, this past win was one game. I'm exactly on the same wavelength. This to me does not suggest Florida's back. Florida's fixed its issues. Everything's good now. They've got a lot more to prove, and talk about a great opportunity to do it if they were to go into Texas A&M and unseat now a top 5 team after unseating a top 10 team at home.
As we begin to wrap up, they beat LSU and Ole Miss in back-to-back weeks last year. Both those games were at home. Beating Texas last week if they go into College Station on a Saturday night and beat A&M, I think Florida fans would be just that would be unbelievable, because how on earth did you lose 3 in a row in the fashion that you did? But B, Texas and Texas A&M in a 7-day stretch, there may not be 2 better SEC victories that anybody has in the conference than those 2 in 1 week's time.
Right. It would be incredibly impressive. And to me, it would just be a complete enigma. How do things go from where they were to what they could be if that kind of turn? I mean, Florida fans, like I mentioned off the top, right now, I would not say that they are forgiving of what happened the first 4 weeks of the season, because, you forget about the Long Island game, and rightfully so. If they were to go and do that, starting to think that some will be forgiving at that point, because it would just be unlike anything I've seen covering Florida. I mean, unlike things that really, I'm sure anyone that covers a college team has seen, like that kind of drastic turnaround in a season when all seems lost. It would be honestly unfathomable. But what a fantastic opportunity for them to maybe go and do that.
Zach, tell Gator fans here in Jacksonville, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247, the coverage that you and the folks over there will have heading into Texas A&M on Saturday night.
Yeah, right now my big project is an all-22 review on this pass rush. Again, I think that was the most impressive aspect of this game to me. I'm fascinated to keep breaking it down. And then my coworker Graham Hall is going to be at College Station. We're looking forward to bringing Florida fans the coverage they deserve of this game. All my stuff's over on Twitter at Zach_Goodall and at swamp247.com.
Zach Goodall, one of our guys in Gainesville, Swamp 247. Zach, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time, and we'll talk again soon, pal.
Thank you, Hacker.
And thank you to Zach Goodall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. As what a victory for the Florida Gators on Saturday against Texas. Certainly doesn't get any easier, right? They go to College Station this Saturday night to play another top 10 team in the Texas A&M Aggies. But Billy Napier lives to fight another day, as Florida pretty dominant in their win over Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns. So we certainly spent some time on that, but as you can imagine, by and large, it was an overwhelming majority on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars, they defeated Kansas City one night ago. The first time they've beat the Chiefs in 16 years. The first time they ever beat Patrick Mahomes in a football game. And Jacksonville now with 3 consecutive victories over the Houston Texans, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Kansas City Chiefs. They sit at 4-1 with the Seattle Seahawks coming to town this Sunday. Well, that'll just about do it, man. What a very, very busy Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Zach Goodall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247. Thank you to Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4